What's going on, gamers? So we got some new specifications here by Moore's Law on PS6 versus Xbox HELIX since updated things have happened here. And it's what I'm going to be telling people before, and there's going to be some stuff to add in. And this is GTA 6 countdown because I know a lot of people are like, yeah, I can't wait for GTA 6. And if that's coming out next year, will they be able to get GTA 6? That depends on if Rockstar doesn't delay the PC version. You know, they don't launch stuff fast. But it says both aim to make 4K 120 frames per second gaming the standard with similar performance to an RTX 5080. Yeah, I mean, that's very impressive. But like I said, once you start reaching that level, I mean, it's pretty much over with. Because if you think about like, what is the average PC user in the world using right now? Not even close. They don't even have a 4080. More like a 4060, right? Yeah, I mean, and then some people they're still on the 3060, 3070 or something like that. They're not even close to that. So when you think about the ballpark price range the PS6 is going to be, because the Helix is going to be more, like I said, at that point, the rasterization returns, the graphic returns, the dimension returns are going to be so high, it's not going to matter. That's why you got to take ray tracing to the next level. Because no matter what, you're going to be the type of player that says, oh man, if you're going to 120, that means no matter what, everything is 60 frames, 4K ray tracing. Like everything is. At that point, that's all console gamers want. You know what I mean? They're good. Even back then, they didn't even think about that type of stuff. But I'm saying once you reach that level, it's about, but I can get it for this price, regardless of what you like. That's what you need to start looking at. But then you got your loyalists. Hey man, that's part of the game. It says Xbox features a much larger APU, of course, because it's being built more like a PC. 408 millimeter than the PS6 being 280, but Sony doesn't need that because, like I said, once you get that performance, it doesn't matter because the PlayStation 6 is going to be selling, 60, 70 million for sure, at least, you know what I mean? Like that's guaranteed. Helix, we don't even know if that's going to sell 10 million. And I also read a post, and people were saying this, that it may be limited at launch. And I tried to tell people that you're going to see something like the Helix, they'll manufacture 1 million of them, and they'll wait for that to sell out and then think about making some more. When they get close to that, they'll do that. It's not going to be like before. This will be the least Xbox launch of all time supported. And what I mean by that is because it's not an official console coming onto the market to get like NPDs, worldwide results to compete with PlayStation head to head, and they'd be similar to launch. Because it's over with, they can launch a year ahead of it, and it's not going to be anything competitive. The PlayStation 6 could end up selling what that sold in 1 year during its launch window a year later, because it's going to be mass manufactured like that. You see what I mean? This is a difference of the game that we have to understand. Now, it's going to be interesting to see the performance difference because we always like comparisons. Just like you could do PC comparisons between the PS5 Pro, PSSR 2, and PC. So that's going to tell you a lot, right? But yeah, as far as like having more APU, that's cool. You're just being able to chase more power. That's what Xbox has always been about because they aim to produce a PC console hybrid. It's a PC first. So you can already do that right now in the market. Just saying. Console hybrid capable of 240 hertz gaming to compete with high-end PCs. Now, you would only want to do 240 hertz if you're doing something like Call of Duty or something like that. You know what I mean? Those type of games, marathon, because those games, like, you just want as much frames as possible to be competitively, intense over the other player. And you're going to need a monitor for that. This is not a TV-oriented setup. This is monitor-oriented setup, 240 hertz. PS6 will be more efficient, and its main focus is ray tracing, which I think is the most important thing because that's where the biggest leap is. And you're going to see PSSR 3. So it's going to be a PSSR 3, PS6 versus Project Helix in comparisons. It is going to be fun doing that. At least you're going to have something in that ballpark, right? And then when you see things getting close, you're going to be like, man, that's crazy. You're trying to charge me like... And I'm going to tell you right now when we get to these prices, there's no way the PS6 is going to be $550 or $600. No, I'm thinking like $700. If Sony can get it to $650 though, that's going to be insane. But I'm thinking like $700. But yeah, PS6 will be more efficient and its main focus is ray tracing. Xbox Helix is backwards compatible with all the games, while PS6 is only backwards compatible with PS4 and PS5. Who cares though? I mean, that's what I'm playing. And you still have the PS1 games and all that. The PS3 stuff will come probably. But at the end of the day, it's like, dude, that's what you need, PS4 and PS5. Definitely PS5. So it has its backwards compatibility. All that other stuff, barely anybody's going to go play that, I'm telling you. And the stuff that you're looking for is available on the market for cheap, on PC for cheap, has been there. You know what I mean? And it's like, yeah, I mean, that's not going to get somebody to buy a next-gen console. That's been a thing that's been available on the Xbox world, but they never won anything with that. So it is a nice future to go back farther than that. but it never was a selling point. Because if it did, the series would be blowing up. The Xbox One would have been more in competition with the PlayStation 4. You see what I'm saying? The 360's main thing was how good it was, what mattered in that present moment, not because of all the past. You know what I mean? It's like, that's not what's going to win you anything. What is the point of getting a PS6 then if I just want to go back to the past? That doesn't make any sense. I'm not saying that's not important, but I'm saying it's not what's going to make you like compete. The Xbox Helix minimum, they're saying 1,000, though I believe it's going to be more than that, up to 1,200. I'm thinking 1,200. Like, when you start getting into that point, that's what I mean. That's not a selling point. They're going to have to make that like a luxury product, and I've told people this, and it's going to be something that is going to be an optional luxury car that you're buying in a gaming sense. But Microsoft's looking to make their money, obviously, 24/7 off of third-party publishing and subscription services, and still compute, cloud, Azure, stuff like that. You know what I mean? Data centers, and Windows 11 getting prepared for Windows 12 migration. Both targeting a late 2027 launch. I don't know. I think PS6 is 2028. Now, the PS6 price, guys, 550 is insane. That means that the PlayStation 5 Pro would have to be $500 or $450. Think about that logic. This is where I feel like Moore's Law is dead. It's a little bit off. I'm like, no, dude. $700, and the PS5 Pro is going to have to go down to like $600 or something. Because you can't put something like that, blowing it out of the water in front of it. It's a next-gen console. And then tell me that the PS5 Pro is going to be more expensive than the PS6 when you do that. That's why I say you still need 2 years for that, because then those parts could be a lot cheaper. And then it's only like, oh, put that down to $600. And the PS6 is going to be like $700 or something. You see what I mean? Or you're thinking, man, the Pro might have to be down to $550 or something. Like, think about it. This is how you realize that, no, bro, $700. But the deal that you're getting is insane. It's still going to sell a lot because of that. Because that's just the way everything works now. So Cody Eastwood says PS6 is near double the performance of the PS5 Pro, and someone thinks it will be $100 or $200 cheaper. That's where I'm saying that the PS5 Pro is going to have to be in as cheap as or the most expensive at that point, $600, and the PS6 may be $750. But Sony's going to have to think of that, guys. That's logic here. Like, we have to think about that. What is going to be the price of the PS5 Pro in late 2027 or 2028 before the PS6 launches? It's going to have to be $150 cheaper minimum. And if it's $700, then it's going to have to be $550. You get what I mean. That's not an argument. Or they're going to discontinue it, which I don't know if they want to do that, right? So something in that ballpark is going to have to happen. And when we look at these specifications of like basically saying that they're both going to do 4K 120, at that point, do you really think it matters if you're going to be saving yourself $400 or $500? I'm thinking $500 minimum probably, because if it's $700 and that's $1,200, that's a $500 difference. That's a whole damn console right now. But like, because you could get that and then be able to get exclusives and all other sorts of stuff, subscriptions. Yeah, you get what I mean? Like, this is going to be a system seller. Like, it's going to sell millions and millions and keep doing it every year, at least 10 million. You know what I mean? And I'm pretty sure Sony probably aims to do a little bit more than that. But I think with the PS6, when you start getting that price range, they're going to have to make it very attractive. So that's going to be the difference between the PS6 and the HELIX, is that this is not going to be competition when it comes to that world anymore. Only comparisons is going to be fun, and seeing how Xbox HELIX is playing its own games compared to PS6. But like I said, once you get that price range difference, who in a right mind would not go for these specs and say you can get a PC for this versus getting a PC for this when you think about the hardware differences? And you can get all their exclusives not coming to PC, and get all their PS4 and PS5 games, which are also not coming anymore for the rest of this generation. And who knows if they will delist them. And this is going to have PSSR 3. So, and money ads. So, like, when you really think about it, this just, how? You know? It's just something we really have to look at. Whether you are a hardcore Xbox guy or hardcore PlayStation 6 guy, I'm not saying it's based off of that. I'm saying it's based off of you got your own games that nobody's going to be able to play anymore now. All PS5 games are going to be running maxed out on that. You're going to be having all PS6 games only on there. You're going to be half the price damn near. And you have a base that you know you can rely on. And yeah, I mean, who knows what other features are going to be here. But it's an ecosystem that works. And you're getting all their games on there. See what I mean? So that's what I've always thought when I thought about like the difference here now. It's not like this is almost in the same price range. It would be something different to think about then if they had their exclusives. But that's what makes this like less attractive because like now you're not getting their games. And you're way out of the price range ballpark and you're not a console anymore. And you have no exclusives. You have no identity. You're doing exactly what's already available in the PC world. This is its own ecosystem. This is an extension of the PC market. So that's something to always consider. So going down to some of these comments, 650, 580 performance. Now, I know that's hard to believe. I understand. But 2 years from now, we're going to have the 6000 series out. So we're going to see what happens. Or maybe next year, right? Actually, yeah. And then maybe the Supers out, the 6000 Supers out that year. Well, who's going to buy for GTA 6? Come on, bro. This is already going to get the PS5 Pro version. It's just converting over. At that point, it's not going to matter. Like, this is basically like saying, are you going to wait to get it on PC? It's already going to be here. Unless you get it on Xbox, you're going to be playing it backwards compatible on the HELIX. Okay. Yeah, you know what I mean? Other than that, but no, I'm going for the PS5 Pro version. A lot of people are wondering, how's the PS5 Pro, the PS6 will be 650 when the Pro is 750. Hey, man, you ain't getting past it. I understand. I think the same thing. But let me know what you guys think about this, all right? Because, once again, I mean, he has good points. I like Moore's Law's dad because he does a lot of work for people to help people understand things. But I don't understand where he's getting this from. I think this is more like a pony pipe dream. I'm just going to have to say it. Like, I'm thinking, like, from a PlayStation gamer perspective, because I game on all platforms. I have since 1993. Yeah, we've been gaming a long time over here. 34 years here or whatever. That let's be a little bit more realistic. This should be in front of the 550, and then we should be thinking something after that. You know what I mean? So I'd say 650 to 750. But we'll see what happens, though. What is Sony going to do? Are they going to strip down the parts to make it very base and say we're able to save money like this? I don't know. And that's why they're not going to do full RDNA 5 full set, but it's going to be RDNA 5. I think they're finding ways to save money. And we'll find out as time passes. But right now, we got to enjoy that PSSR too, because that's the most exciting thing in the gaming industry. All right, y'all. As usual, keep gaming no matter what platform you're on. Like I said, as long as you're happy, that's what matters. Peace out. Let me know what you guys think once again. And thank you for all the support. Peace.